This is the AGT Uragan 2 in 177 sub 12. What we're going to do today is we're going to test a large variety of pellets and slugs from varying distances, starting out at just 20 yards, pushing out to 40 yards. Once we find out what pellet or slug that this likes, we'll then take it out to 100 yards and see if we can shoot an exploding target. But the first thing we need to do before we do any of that, we need to get this over the chronograph. I have Accu-tac 7.9 grain pellets in this. What we're going to do is we're going to fire 10 shots over the chronograph to see what power it's producing.
800, 3, 798.
I think that's it.
800, 3.
Well, can't complain with the consistency. Let's get some pellets in this, test out at 20 yards, find out which pellet it likes at that distance, then we'll push it out further. Here we are at 20 yards, just loading up the first set of pellets ready for testing. You might be thinking 20 yards is not a big distance, and you are completely right. However, it is good to try and find out which pellet it might shoot out at further distances. There are some pellets which don't shoot that well at 20 yards, and you can actually see that. So this just helps narrow it down, because if they're not grouping at 20 yards, they won't group out at 40 yards. So first up is going to be some JSBs, quite a lot of pellets to get through. Let's see how we do. Well, I've just shot those JSB in the air arms, and even at 20 yards it doesn't seem to be liking those pellets, which is really surprising for a rifle like this. I'm hoping the groups are going to improve. That's very, very interesting. Out of all the pellets that I've tested so far, AWS are doing the best, which is very, very strange. I did not expect that at all. Well, that's more like it now. The RWS and then the QIS heavies just produce some really good groups. So it looks like we're finally finding a pellet which it likes, even at just such a close range of just 20 yards. But wow. BSA Gold Star was on for a good one, and then just threw that flyer, which just let it down. That's the 20 yards done. We'll just go have a quick look at them and then decide which pellets need to go further out to 40 yards. It's always quite difficult to choose which pellets I need to take out to 40 yards because 20 yards is a really close distance. But these are the 5 which perform the worst, and these are the 6 which we're going to take out to 40 yards. This is the real test now out at 40 yards. This is where you start to see which pellets will group the best. Weather was meant to be very minimal wind, but it's a lot windier than expected, which is not good when you're shooting a sub 12 in 177. And when you are trying to shoot groups, it does become quite a lot more difficult. But we've got 6 pellets to test at 40 yards. Let's just see which one this one seems to favour. Hopefully we can get some good groups, and then we'll test some slugs. RWS Superdome, we're looking for quite a decent group then. Just the last shot just let it down, which is unfortunate because I don't usually get good groups with Superdomes. I'm disappointed there. BSA Gold Star with a pretty good group there. I'm happy with that. They usually fail at further distances. They can produce really good groups at close range, but when you push them out to further distances, it really does get affected. But even in this wind, they haven't done too bad. "40 yards done." Hard to tell which one has produced the tightest group down there, so we'll go down there, take a look and find out which pellets perform best out at 40 yards in these rather windy conditions. Out at 40 yards with these 6 pellets, there are 2 pellets which I feel haven't performed as well as they should, which are the RWS Superdome and the Daystate Sovereign. But the 2 pellets I feel which have performed really well are the BSA Gold Star 8.64 grain, which produced a group under the size of a 5p coin, and also the QAS Streamline. These have also produced a group under the size of a 5p coin. Right then, here we go. 40 yards, slugs, 177 sub 12. Might be better today actually because of the wind. So I'm hoping that these are going to perform quite well. But as we all know, will slugs work even in a sub 12? It's a lottery. So we'll find out. As always, Pro Hunter in 177 sub 12 always seem to do quite well. I actually pulled a couple of shots and redid a couple of shots just to show that it was actually going pretty much on the target. So yeah, they were the 10.5s, and yeah, Pro Hunters always do quite well. H&N 10 grain is not a fan of them. Wow, Wildman 11.8. That's a good group. That could be the tightest so far. Zan 13 grain, really good group. So it seems to like slugs. It's not doing too bad actually. These are my favourite slugs, Legion slugs. You might not have heard of them, and I always fear for my camera's life when I shoot these because you don't know where they are going to go. Kind of like an FX hybrid. Well, they actually did a lot better than expected there, the Legion, so what we'll do now, go have a look at those slugs. Can't really tell which one grouped the best, but there were some good and some bad. Let's see which slugs it likes the best. Even in sub 12, slugs can work better than pellets in the wind. There were some slugs which didn't perform very well at this distance, and which was these 4, but the Zan 13 grain produced a group under the size of a £1 coin, and then the Wildman 11.8 grain produced a group under the size of a 5p coin, as well as the Pro Hunter 10.5 grain under the size of a 5p coin. Two targets out at 100 yards, or technically 102, with a sub 12 177. Let's see if we can hit these. Oh, right then, here we go. 100 yards, or technically 102. I'm going to be shooting Zan 13 grain slugs. I'm also going to record through the scope, so we'll get that recording. That is now recording. Decided to shoot the 13 grain just because a little bit heavier, which should and will, we'll find out, shoot better in this wind. and it being sub 12 as well. So then, let's see. Where are you? Let's find the target. Let's see if we can get this. Let's see if we can get it with our first shot as well. That's never happened before, but we'll see. Here we go. What? Oh, I can't believe I just did that first shot at 102 yards. No way. No way. I cannot believe I just did that. Well, the next accomplishment will be 2 out of 2. I doubt it. I don't believe it. I can't believe that just happened. 2 shots, 102 yards on an exploding target, and I've just done it in 2 shots. 2 out of 2. I'm never going to do that again. I did some practice shots with this just before at that distance and noticed how well it was actually grouping at 102 yards. Wow, that's mightily impressive. I'm really stoked with that. Well, seeing as 102 yards is just too easy for a Uragan in sub 12 177, what we're going to shoot is 4 exploding targets out at about 45 yards. I'm going to do them quick, so I'm going to speed shoot. I'm not a competition shooter, but I just thought this will just be a bit of fun because the 102 yards was just too easy. And we are going to use Pro Hunter 10.5 grain. So here we go. I'll give myself a countdown. So 3, 2, 1. All the wind's picking up. No! Hey! Oh, the wind got me on that last shot. I just felt it. That was typical. But yeah, really fun to shoot. Really solidly built, this Uragan. Really enjoy shooting it. It is a bit of a Marmite gun, so if you don't understand what Marmite means, it's either you love it or you hate it, but I like it. On a picture it doesn't look very nice, but I think in person it actually looks quite good. So yeah, I'm really impressed with that. Really enjoyable to shoot. Well, that's my full review of the AGT Uragan 2 in 177 sub 12. Had some really mixed results, really challenging weather because it is a 177, really lightweight and shooting sub 12. So the pellets were struggling a little bit, but we did get some good groups out at 40 yards. The slugs performed pretty well. The Zan 13 grain performed really well, even shooting out to 100 yards was really good. And the Pro Hunter 10.5 grain. The Pro Hunters generally do quite good in all or a lot of the sub 12 177 rifles that I test. They do seem to do really well. But there's one major problem with Pro Hunter slugs, a massive problem with Pro Hunter slugs. They are massively overpriced, hugely. They need to drop the price of those slugs, not just by 25p, they need to drop the price. They are extortionate. Now, I love shooting Pro Hunter slugs, don't get me wrong. I've bought a lot of them over the past, but I won't be replenishing my stock of Pro Hunters, mainly because that price is just too much. I can't afford to keep buying these. I get some pellets, some slugs for free, but the majority I do have to buy. I can't afford to keep buying these Pro Hunter slugs. You only get 100 in a tin, and you're paying a lot of money just for those 100. So for me, I hope they reduce the price. If they do reduce the price, I will go and buy some more. But I just wanted to get that off my chest. They need to drop the price of those slugs, but they are fantastic, and I really hope they do listen. Anyway, that's me rambling on. Hope you enjoyed this review. Again, thank you very much for Bamford for letting me borrow this rifle. Without them, I won't be able to do these types of reviews. And if you are interested in these, certainly go and have a look, because they are a really nice rifle to shoot. Marmite, but they are built like a tank. They are solid and they are quite unique to look at. So thank you very much. Cheers guys. If you enjoyed this, make sure to check out some exclusive content behind the scenes over on my Patreon.